Hello, 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 beautiful people. Chris, Michael, Nate, Tiffany. What's happening, everyone? Feel free to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself if you can. Today is going to be a lot of conversation, so we might as well just get into the process of unmuting for today. Michael, Nate, Chris, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Michael. Happy to have you. I know you left me a voice note on WhatsApp. My apologies. I have not gotten to it, but I will. Sergio, I've not seen your face, good sir. Welcome.
Good to be here with you guys.
My man. Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Oh man, see, it's the little things in life that get me excited. I'm honored. Thank you. Leland, thanks for jumping on. Nate, how's everybody doing? What are we present to this morning? And Sergio, if it's cool, we start with you. What are you present to this morning?
Well, getting ready to go to work right now, 5:30 in the morning. Excited about being with you guys. I'm present to just really listening to what's going to be happening today in today's session. So that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. So thank you, setting that up so powerfully. It is now 8:29 my time. Today, Sean will not be jumping on the call. He is at the American Foundation for a Blind, a speaking engagement in Philadelphia. So today we're going to spend 15, 25, 30 minutes, whatever, we can. Welcome, David. Thank you for joining. We're going to spend today, Tyler, thank you for being here. We're going to be spending some time answering questions. I know yesterday we had a fabulous training. A lot went on. Kelly very powerfully shared. Distinctions were made. And I know we haven't had a lot of time because Sean is masterful in his ability to create content. So we wanted to make sure that today you had the ability to ask some questions, truly understand, and let's play in the game of micro distinction. So today we win when we contribute to the conversation and we ask questions. So they don't have to be high level. They could be anything. Welcome, Craig. Is there anyone that'd like to kind of start off and just ask a couple questions, one question, or share a win or something that they're present to? Who would like to go first?
I have a simple question. It's Michael Crouch.
Michael, thank you for introducing yourself when you begin. Go ahead.
Can you go over briefly frictionlessness? We talk about it. It's one of those words that the distinction is self-evident in the word itself, which is so cool how so many of those words actually do that. I mean, like 90%, but I still would like to hear someone just talk about it for a moment.
Yeah, for sure. And great question. Thank you for that. So let's play the game of frictionlessness. So I'm going to play back and forth. Can you please, in your best language, share with me what you believe the definition of frictionlessness is?
Sure. For me, at this point, what it appears to mean is a way of communicating that's easy and effortless. And yeah, I would just say that simply.
Perfect. Distinction, what you mentioned is actually a byproduct of frictionlessness. So what you mentioned is not what frictionlessness is. It is a byproduct of creating frictionlessness. Does that make sense?
100%.
So let's define the game of frictionlessness a little bit for everyone. So everyone, thank you. And this is what it looks like when we ask questions. So in process mastery, there's ecosystems, there's frictionlessness, there's sales meetings, and then there's revenue. That's the way process mastery works. Process mastery is match and model, time blocking, measuring, modeling. But the outcomes of those things are ecosystems, ecosystem mergers, frictionlessness, sales meetings, revenue. With me so far?
Yep.
Okay. So what it looks like, what frictionlessness is, let's see if we can play with some real life examples. Have you ever been to a networking event, like a chamber of commerce, a BNI, or like a special group that was a networking event?
Never.
Okay, never. All right, let's play with a different example. So, okay, let's use this group, this group, okay? When you walk into a supermarket and you walk into this group, in which one would you say it's easier to ask deeper, more meaningful questions? To a stranger in the supermarket or to someone in this group?
Someone in this group.
That right there, simply, and you haven't even done it, just you're thinking about it.
Right.
That feeling is the difference between having a lot of friction, which is in the supermarket. You're going to have a lot of friction, a lot of hesitation. I don't know. Do I know you? There's a lot of assessment that needs to happen. Can I trust this person? That's called friction.
Got it. So what is,
Uh-huh.
no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I'm not sure I understand 100% and understand the difference between frictionlessness and rapport.
Beautiful. So let's finish friction, and then we're going to go to rapport.
Okay.
While in the supermarket, there's a lot of friction. Here, there's not. Why is there no friction here? Because we've built emotional rapport.
Got it.
So emotional rapport, the difference between frictionlessness, as I mentioned before, how like the communication is an outcome. Frictionlessness is an outcome of building rapport. So in order to obtain frictionlessness, we must build emotional rapport. Why can we sit here? How can I be in Zeus energy at 8:30 in the morning without like asking you a bunch of questions and loving you, which I have in other times, is because I have in the past. The communications we've had in the WhatsApp group, the energy that we've had here, the edification that Sean has given me in the training calls has led to me rise of my influence, which has lowered the friction in this group where it makes it easy for people to reach out to me. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yes.
So the way that you're comfortable asking me questions is a byproduct of me merging ecosystems with Sean, him creating frictionlessness for me by making videos together, by being in conversations together, which leads to more quality conversations, which could lead to much more.
Right.
Does that answer your question at a certain level?
That was beautiful. Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Very welcome. Would you like to ask anything deeper in that realm?
I think I'm good for now. I'll process that.
Yeah, thank you. Trust me, brother, I get it. I'm around Sean, and it's like drinking out of a fire hose every day, but it's the best fucking fire hose ever. So
Yeah,
would anyone else? Go ahead.
No, they're definitely fun. And I'm not saying I understood 100% the whole process that you described towards the end. I think some of that we haven't even gone over yet, right?
No, we've touched emotional rapport and dabbled in frictionlessness. I gave you a very direct answer, and hopefully I threw in a little bit of the how. Actually, no, I didn't. So I'll just jump on that for a second, and then we'll ask another question.
Okay.
How is frictionlessness created? It is created by merging ecosystems, or building, better said, it's created by building rapport with a leader or influencer within an ecosystem, and that leader or influencer acknowledging, validating, edifying you within the group. How does that person do that? By creating a video with you, by being in the group and saying, hey, you got to talk to that guy, Fernando, ba, 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 ba. So when a leader or influencer of a group acknowledges, validates, or edifies you, instantaneously, your influence in that ecosystem goes up and your friction goes down.
Got it.
With me?
Totally. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for asking. Next, would someone else like to add on top of that, ask another question? Please unmute yourself. Yep, go ahead and introduce yourself.
This is Tyler Fernando. Good morning.
Hey, Tyler. What's going on, brother?
Great. Yeah, I just actually want to add on that. That really helped because, you know, going in these meetings, it's pretty deep. It's like what you said, it's a fire hose at times. So can you go over what an ecosystem merger is?
Yeah, great question, brother. So first distinction is, what is an ecosystem? So an ecosystem, it is a group of people who come together but influence in a specific area. And that doesn't always have to be a group. Like Tyler, you are an ecosystem. I'm not confused that Jordan texted me and said, hey, like, what are you doing with that group? What's happening? I'm not confused that you're probably telling Jordan how amazing this group is. Am I on or am I off?
Oh yeah, you're so right.
Okay. So I'm not like a genius, but I listened. So it came out of nowhere. So that's proof that you are an ecosystem. Make sense?
Yes.
And what you've done is that you've acknowledged, validated, and edified myself and Sean in different ways, I'm sure. And because of that, there's less friction with Jordan, because Jordan was like, no, I'm not interested. We'll see. Now he's like, dude, game on. I'm paying off my school loans. Next month, I'm in the group. So what you did, because you're an ecosystem and we're building rapport and merging with you, You created frictionlessness between myself and Jordan, which is leading to a much more qualified meeting, which is a high probability is going to land in a yes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, for the question in the past that was just asked, that is an example of what this looks like. And to dive into your question, Tyler, an ecosystem, consider that a group or a person that has influence over another group or person. That is what an ecosystem is. You are an ecosystem. Everyone in this group is an ecosystem. Limitless, Chris Crohn's event is an ecosystem. The Realtors of Oklahoma is an ecosystem. Those are all ecosystems. And by building rapport, which me and you have, Tyler, emotional rapport, deep over time, and by you edifying, acknowledge, and validating me, and vice versa, like how I do for you in the groups, that raises our influence, which attracts more people to want to meet us, because you've already conveyed the heroic, unique identity of the group, of myself and of Sean, to Jordan. So now I don't have to do that. I can spend time building rapport, build a little bit extra heroic, unique identity, maybe pieces that are missing, and then go right into agreement formation. And I'm literally like talking about this live because I want to give you a real example. Does that communicate to you, Tyler?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, honestly.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like, bro. So thank you. Let me stop for a second, because you did that. You are literally in the game of the formula. You are helping us merge ecosystems, whether you know it or not. Thank you for living the 10 indispensable elements, because I remember you first shared, hey, it's a little robotic, I don't know. By Jordan's reaction, I know that you're living the formula and you're in influence mastery, because he was just a yes from the beginning. So that's an acknowledgement to you that you are, growing in your mastery, just in case you're wondering, because I know sometimes we punish ourselves and we're like, we're not doing enough, we're not doing that. Not saying that you're doing that, saying that that's available for humans at times. And I just want you to know that you are doing that. You are merging, you are creating frictionlessness, and it is happening. And I only promise you that as you continue to do this and ask questions, it will not only accelerate in this group, but it will accelerate in all areas of your life. So I hope that answers your question, Tyler.
Thanks, Fernando. Appreciate it.
Very welcome. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be in that space. Anyone else, please? We have time, and I'm loving this. I hope everyone's gaining some value out of these questions. Would someone else like to ask another?
Hey, Fernando, it's Nate.
Hey, what's up, bro?
How's it going, man? So I've just got a quick question.
Yeah.
As I've been pursuing the formula, I've noticed that myself slipping back into my old ways and not really being able to communicate with individuals on a deeper level. And so my question to you would be, is there a time and a place to use the formula, or is it designed to be able to utilize with anyone? Because I've noticed that as I communicate with other individuals, I don't know if it's my fault in not knowing, not being a master in the formula, or if it's just the individual wants to have a surface level conversation.
Can you say that last sentence for me again, Nate? I'm sorry.
I was just wondering if my conversation with an individual, if I'm struggling with the formula and they're not wanting to, they're not able to engage with me in a deeper conversation, or if it's just the individual doesn't want to be involved with the deeper conversation, and so they just want to have a surface level conversation.
Beautiful question, multi-part question, but I'll do my best to answer all of them. But thank you so much, access in that question. So number one, the right time to use the formula is all the time. That is answer number one. Answer number two is 20% mastery in the formula is still better than not using the formula. So what I want to open up is you do not have to be a master in order to use the formula. Any usage of the formula is better than not using the formula. That's a fact. So wherever you are now, is there room to grow? Possibly. Is it needed to get exponential results? Maybe. Is it better to use the formula even at a 10% mastery, which I know you're beyond that, than not using it? The direct answer is yes. Number three, every single person wants to have a deep conversation. The people that say they don't want to actually need it the most. It's not easy to open. It's like, I'm not saying like, yeah, everyone does it. But what my confidence is, my certainty is that I have never spoken, me personally, anyone that did not want to go deep. Did it take, you know, breaking a few walls, saying a couple jokes, bouncing around energies? Yes. Every single human on the planet, even like animals, want to be heard, want to be seen, and want to be understood. Every single one of them. You are giving human beings a gift when you give them the formula. So I just really want to anchor on that. And ultimately, when it comes to like, hey, sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't, that all goes back to self-mastery. Self-mastery gives us the chutzpah to execute on our process mastery. Executed on our process mastery gives us the confidence to live in influence mastery. That's the way the formula works. So if there's like a I don't want to do it energy, that is, it all goes back to self-mastery. And in my world, I play the game where sometimes, because I'm a cycle like analyst, I'm constantly analyzing people, conversations, language. I purposely don't use the formula sometimes, like for fun, just to see how people will react to me. And then midway, I'll turn it on and it's a completely different conversation. So takeaways from all this is everybody wants to be heard, seen, and understood. Everyone, period. Everyone, period. Number two, using any percentage of the formula is better than not. And not using it because of a choice all comes back to self-mastery, because the truth is every single person wants to be heard, seen, and understood. And the way that I wear it, and I'll throw it in the air and recommend, is that we are giving people a gift when we do this. We are giving people a gift. And if people don't want to go deep, it's because we haven't built enough rapport first. We're going to where are you going, what's not working, and we haven't built enough of where have you been, where are you now. When that is built, and then it's coupled with acknowledgement and validation and love, I have not had a human to this point not share with me. And that was one of my first questions I asked Sean in like March was, hey, what if people don't share their challenges? He looked me right in the eye and he said, Fernando, no one's ever not shared their challenges when I built emotional rapport correctly. And I took that as like, I'm gonna believe that. And I believed it, I've done it, and nothing could be further, like nothing could be closer to the truth. So I hope that answers your question, Nate.
It does. Thank you.
Beautiful. Is there something else that's coming up for you? I know I'm trying to keep the answers concise, but there's so many distinctions in it. Is there anything else that rose for you in my explanation of that answer?
I think I just need to process it for now. I do have some questions, but I want to give some other individuals an opportunity to ask those questions.
Thank you. So I appreciate your leadership and allowing everyone else to speak, and hopefully we can come back on this call. Would anyone else like to share?
Hey, Fernando, this is Ben Fox. Good morning.
Good morning, brother.
What's up, guys? Hey, I was loving what you're having to say on that. And one thing I was saying, like, this is a really advanced question. And hey, Nate, what's up, brother? I love you, dude. I hear your voice on the calls, and I just want to say hi to you too. Fernando, can I take something on that and throw something in there? I think it's kind of cool about heart.
Please.
And
Oh
things like
my
that.
God, Ben, please share.
Whew, thanks. Hold on, let me get ready. All right, because you're saying like I kind of got goosebumps on something, because like here's the thing. Like Nate, one thing that I was thinking about, because recently I'm legally blind. I'm back to work. I'm loving that. But there is a big difference between like what I was doing 6 months ago or even a year ago and now. Big difference. And my heart wasn't quite ready for that at first. Frankly, let me just put it out there. My heart was not ready for that. I mean, like, the world is serious. It's business out there. And we're talking about being heartfelt. And in the 10 indispensable elements for influence mastery, love is number one at the top. And so one thing that I've known about Sean this last year, and Fernando, I know for sure you know this too, sir, is that Sean does take time for everybody he possibly can. And if he's ever 5 minutes late to a call, that's because he's taking time for somebody and loving them, and it just is that important. So that being said, here's something I wanted to say. This got goosebumps on me when I thought about it. Anybody that you encounter at the right time, at the right place, when the opportunity is present, and you bring the formula, boom, the magic happens then. So here's the key there, though. The formula is key, but the other key is time, place, opportunity. So if I'm on the way somewhere and I'm in a hurry and I've literally got like my little brother waiting for me and I got to get there, man, I want to connect with you for sure. That's true. That's always going to be true, but it's not the right time, place, and opportunity. So here's what I've learned, though, in my own life. Like now I'm on the phone a lot. Now I'm out in person a lot, and I'm wanting to connect. And like, I got to tell you guys, I use a white cane to get around. And if I show up to see you, it took me some effort to get there, and I'm so happy to be there. And if you don't have time for me, I'll understand because that's business. But guess what? In the past, it used to break my heart. And then the next person I see, here, this is key. The next person I see might have sensed that I came to them and I was a little sad because the person I saw before them, whatever reason, didn't want to connect or couldn't connect, or I couldn't connect with them, or the time, place, opportunity wasn't quite right then. So with that being said, here's something that I love, that I've learned from Sean, and I've learned from interacting with you, Fernando, and learned with all of our beautiful coaching team, because we're so busy, so busy. Whenever we do connect, it's so beautiful and solid every single time. But sometimes it takes us a minute to connect, right, Fernando?
Yeah.
But when we do, it's magic. And so here is the key I've learned, is to hold my heart on my sleeve in between those times, waiting for the time, the place, the opportunity. So when we meet up, Nate, there is a possibility for magic, and I'm ready for it. My heart is ready, unbroken, unblinded, and on my sleeve. And I'm ready to say good morning. Where are you from? What are you up to? Where are you going? What's working well? And just like everybody, what could work better? And I just want to share that with you. Thank you for your question, Nate. Thank you, Fernando, for your leadership. It's been awesome on my end of the phone to hear it. Love you all, and I'll press my mute button now.
Ben, thank you so much. I'm so present to who you are. Your 5D listening has been something I've been impressed with since I met you. And your aspirational energy right there literally gave me goosebumps. So thank you for your love, for your presence. And you actually just gave me an access. So if I could add to that in service of Nate, what you just gave me access to is when I was saying, even if using 10% is better than not using it, Sean taught me something called checking in, which is constantly building rapport. And the access Ben just gave me in his share is that maybe sometimes, I'll let Sean confirm this, because his formula is you don't have to do all 5 questions at once. Even if you spend the time doing where have you been, where are you now, where are you going, and you stop there, and then on your next conversation, you do it again.
I love that, by the way. I love that.
That's what you just gave me, Ben. That's what I'm present to in your share. And I
love
realized
it.
that I think I do that subconsciously sometimes. Because sometimes it's not the right time. Maybe. I believe it is, but maybe it's not. Let's pretend that not being the right time is real. We can still do where have you been, where are you going, where have you been, where are you now, where are you going, and then like keep it friendly or go deeper.
Fernando, you and me, like let's just real quick, let's play here. I know we're getting time, but we've met over the last 6 months so many times, and we have just loved our time together. We haven't even gotten through all the questions together yet ourselves, you and I. And I can't wait to see you this weekend and get back on that. So I love what you're saying. I'm with you 100% there.
Thank you. Nate, does that give you a little deeper access?
Yes, I really appreciate both Ben and you and and answering these questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So I think we may have time for 1 or 2 more. Would someone else like to jump in and ask another question? Thank you for the community for really stepping in. This is what it's all about.
Hey, Fernando, can I just add on that really quick?
Sure.
So when you leave off and you pick up a second time and you never went through all the questions, so do you start back from question 1, or are you picking up from question 4, or where are you jumping in?
Great question. Always question 1. And I just recently learned this from Sean, I would say, 2 weeks ago, because my question to him was, once I build emotional rapport, like, what do I do the second time? Like, what I don't understand. Like, how do I keep frictionlessness? That's what I was confused about. Hey, Martha, thank you for joining. And what he shared with me was check-in. Check-in is that's like a term for build emotional rapport again. So I do that every time now. It's always, so I'll build, we'll get somewhere. There's no way I'm going to learn. I'm sure there's more to learn about Kelly, even though she shared so powerfully for an hour yesterday. So I'll do it again. And when I see everyone this weekend, I'll be like, oh my God, like, how'd you get here? And like, why are you here? And you know, what's your outcomes for being here? And like, what do you think are some of the things that are going to help you get all over again? So the direct question answer to you, Tyler, is always start from the beginning. Always go through the questions. I spend most of my time in the first and third question. That's where I spend most of my time, because most people, some do, some don't. It depends. Like sharing about where they are now. Most love sharing about their past, cannot wait to share about their future, which will eventually lead to them sharing the areas they need to grow. So direct answer is always start from the beginning, always check in, always build rapport. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think I've been starting off with, what's been going on. I think that's kind of a play off of question 1, maybe 2.
What's been going on? That has a sense of where are you now? Okay.
So yeah, you want to delve deeper into their past.
Where have you been is backwards. So like what's going on is like, oh, hey, what's going on? You're going to tell me like what's going on now. Okay. So like I would suggest going, so like what's happened since we last spoke? That's a gap in the past. Okay. So where have you been is backwards. Where are you now is like right now, present. Where are you going is the future. Everything else is playing in the sand with people. Okay. Thanks, Fernando. Very welcome, Tyler. Thank you for your share. Would someone else like to ask a question?
Hey, Fernando, I got a question, and I want to thank everybody. Like, y'all have been answering kind of my questions as y'all have been talking. But my question is, like, I know like when you're speaking with people to like better yourself and master the formula, but when you're not speaking with people, like, what's the way to like continue like mastering it? So I say that in a sense as I know y'all probably working on it this weekend with like some materials and meeting up. Like, how do I like on my downtime when I'm not talking to somebody continue to like master the formula? Beautiful. Such a beautiful question. One of the elements in self-mastery is journaling. So that works for me. At this point in my life, I consider myself an ambivert, which is like right in the middle of an introvert and an extrovert. I love people. I love this. As you can tell, my energy flares up when this happens. I'm at the point in my life now where I need alone time. I don't want, I need. And in that time, and I know Sean does it in the morning, so do I. And I also give myself time on Sundays where no one else matters and I choose Fernando. And for me, my outlet is writing. So I will write down some conversations I had with people and I'll dissect them. Like, what did I get? What do I remember? What could I have done? And Sean, one thing I love about Sean is how humble he is. I'll give you a real-time example of how he does this. And this is Sean. We went to a speaking engagement in PACE. And long story short, at the end, every master communicator always asks, how can we have improved? Always. Sean does that. I do that. I always say, how can I have done better? So we asked, and I had a question. It wasn't a criticism or anything. I just had a question because I was interested was, Sean, I realized you didn't use fun energy in your presentation. I'm just interested in knowing why. And he shared and it made sense and I got it and we moved on. And then yesterday he like calls me randomly at like 8:02 p.m. and goes, dude, I got it. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I know how I could have used fun. And he shared it and we both laughed. And like, I was present to how amazing he is because the whole interaction the day before was like 2 minutes. And this fucking crazy man spent 24 hours thinking about how he could have improved. So direct answer to you is think about the conversation you've had and see where you use the formula, where you could have improved. And my access to you is journal. Write them down. Write down the conversations you're having in your mind because you'll realize that the conversations in your mind seem much bigger than they really are. And when you write them, beautiful access is created. So I hope that helps, Chris. Yeah, absolutely, Fernando. Like, I appreciate that gift you just gave me. So I'm going to start that today. Yeah,
start writing. And here's another gift from a different mentor. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have, like, when you've never gone to the gym, you don't have to do 1,000 squats and go crazy. If you write one page, make that enough for you. Don't write a novel. Just begin. Give yourself a level where you're going to win, like 1 page. I'm going to write 1 page, one side. And if you do both sides, like you just dominated, doubled your goals. But if you sit down and you say, I'm going to write 100 pages and you write 10, you're going to feel like a failure. So just out of love, Fernando to Chris, set the bar where you're going to win and then blow past the goal. Because you want to make it consistent. You want to build a habit. You're not going to do 100 pages every day. You can do 1 page a day. There's no excuse for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So one more, because I'm loving it. 2 more minutes. We'll make it super fast. Would anyone else like to ask another question?
Leland speaking.
Yeah. Who's speaking?
Leland.
Leland?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, brother? Go ahead. What's your question?
Well, we've been going over step 3 quite a bit with the heroic and unique identity yesterday. We went over a lot of the emotional rapport building, which is step 1, but I'm not sure if I missed a little bit of step 2, which is clarifying, connecting to pain and yes strategy. I was just wondering if we can have time to go over that a little bit more, because the questions in the slideshow were, what if this doesn't change? And if you could have it all your way, what would that look like? And is that just kind of going over, like, what are the consequences if you don't change in 5 or 10 years?
The answer is yes. So you're spot on. If you're familiar with the Dickens process, so pain and yes strategy is, so Sean always says use open-ended questions. So when we're going for pain and yes strategy, it's when people are sharing what's not working, it's exactly what you said. It's like, wow, like I see that you're really working on a lot right there. Like, what would life look like if you continued in that direction? That's anchoring in pain. Yes could be, and you do this with love, by the way. There's no manipulation in this. It's simply things won't change if things won't change, and people need to feel what's going to happen if they don't change. So by you bringing them through, not into, through their pain, you're giving them the gift of freedom. So just, it's really important. A lot of love is essential in pain and yes strategy. And it's step number 2, because without emotional rapport, you can really damage the relationship by taking people into pain if they don't trust you yet. But direct answer with the time we have is exactly that. We want to take them through their pain, and then we want to ask them questions. Is this where you want to stay, Leland? Yes, no. Obviously, it's no. So what you're saying is that you're looking for like another level. Yes. So we want to take them through the excitement of possibility of change through the answer of yes. So I would probably never ask you a no question unless I want to anchor you in pain. For the most part, I'm pulling you through your pain with yes questions. So what you're saying is that these things are working for you. These things are not. If you kept doing these, what you're saying is that you would feel better about where you're going, right? Yes. So it's a constant yes in the direction of out. And pain is, until people have a big enough reason to shift something, they're not. And most people will not share that pain right away. So in what's not working, in my opinion, and once again, I want Sean to verify and clarify, pain and yes is used in what's working and what's not working. That's how it's shown up for me. I'm sure there's distinctions I can still learn there. In my world, I've used pain and yes in question 4 and 5. It's like coupled in. I hope that answers your question. I know that was a short answer to a larger question, but I wanted to at least give you something.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely work for explaining it a little bit more, and I'm sure we'll be going into more detail at some point. And like last night, I actually got together with a friend, and actually was going through this, and this friend I had actually got together with within the last year, and it was just good kind of build that. And I could see sometimes I was asking questions that he wasn't really comfortable with. He had the arms crossed in front of him, and then I just kept on kind of trying to get through the pain there process, and just arms came down. We just kept conversation opens up again, and just keep going forward with just topics we were talking about and everything last night. So yeah, I used it last night, and it was really, really awesome to like just to work the formula and everything. So thank you.
Hey,
Thank
Fernando.
you, thank you for being in the formula, Tyler. Let's talk offline. I want to be respectful to everyone. It is now 8:02, so let's please connect. Is there a last minute you want to share? I just want to make sure we don't go into another question, Tyler.
No, I just wanted to add to Leland's question really quick. Yeah, so playing off what Fernando said and what I've kind of learned from Sean too, people automatically default to no.
Yeah.
So what Sean has taught me is the greatest motivator there ever is pain. People don't like to be in pain. People like to be comfortable. So the pain and yes strategy is you want to shift people's default from no to actually no is pain, and the absence of pain is yes. So that's what I've learned from Sean is instead of getting people to default to say no, you actually want to connect their pain with the answer of no so that you guide them to saying yes.
I love that. Beautiful distinction. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. So overall synopsis of today, everyone wants to be heard, seen, acknowledged. Giving them the gift of the formula is a gift. Lean deep, always check in, always be in the formula, always be checking in. This is Trajectory Thursday. Thank you all of you for being on the call. We will continue this tomorrow on Friday, and please, any questions, write them in the WhatsApp. We can always answer them there. Begin the conversations with answering some questions, but we need what you gave us today. We need your heart, we need your listening, we need your minds. Thank you, I love you. My name's Fernando, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Fernando.
Bye, Ben.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye, everybody.